Hey now, say now, welcome back to the Stanford Cardinal Dynasty. Stanford comes in 7-1 on the season, a record they had last year before a crucial downward spiral. This year they look to change the narrative, and it starts on the road against the 5-3 Louisville Cardinal and a Cardinal throwdown. Louisville has a 3-2 record in conference and needs to pretty much win out in order for them to have a chance at playing in the ACC title game, while Stanford looks to build on the victories after a tough loss to NC State a few weeks ago. Let's get into it. Quarterback Elijah Brown is on pace to eclipse last year's yard and touchdown total, but the interceptions are also up. Ball security will be the key late in the season. Stanford put together a nice drive midway through the opening quarter. On the 17, Brown's going to drop back to pass. He's going to throw it up for grabs in the corner of the end zone, but it's picked off. What a play by freshman safety Chuck Brubaker, taking points off the board for Stanford in the process. On the ensuing drive, backup quarterback Mason Mims led the offense. He fakes a handoff and throws a strike to tight end Jaleel Skinner for a nice gain. Later on the drive, 3rd and 3. They send a man in motion, but they hand it off to star running back Isaac Brown. He takes it up the middle, whoops, jukes out a defender, and he dashes for the end zone. Touchdown, Louisville. The home team strikes first after forcing the turnover. Second quarter now. Stanford facing 4th and inches backed up on the own 31, but Brown's going to hit Joe Anthony Hall up the seam to convert the down again. Later in the drive, ball on the 33. Brown's then going to hit Hall in a bubble screen. He gets blocking in C space. He angles his way for the end zone and runs it in. Stanford touchdown. Took a whole quarter, but they finally get on the board and tie the game. Stanford drive again. Ball on the 45 this time. Brown's going to drop back to pass, and he's going to find Jordan Faison on the short route. He outruns the defender, and he picks up big yardage before getting pushed out of bounds. This later sets up a goal line appearance, and Micah Ford is going to power it in 2 yards out for the Stanford touchdown, and they take their first lead of the game. They kept the momentum going as they get the ball back. Brown's going to fake the handoff, scramble right, throws it upfield, and Faison is wide open downfield for a big gain. A few plays later, they look to cap off the drive. Ball on the 7. Brown drops back to pass. He drifts right, throws it high, but Ismail Cisse snags it, and he walks into the end zone for another Stanford touchdown late in the second quarter. 21-7 was the score that held going into the half, and a surprise spotlight player as freshman wide receiver John Anthony Hall led the team with 4 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown, filling in for a multitude of injuries at the wide receiver position. Second half now. Louisville possession out of the break. Star back, Isaac Brown takes the handoff. He dashes outside and sees nothing but green. He's at the 50. He breaks off a tackle and eventually is taken down at the 26-yard line for a nice highlight play there. Later on the drive, facing a 3rd and 17, Mason Mims dropped back to pass, and then he's going to hit Brown downfield, wide open for a Louisville touchdown. The star back has gashed Stanford on the ground, and now he beats him through the air, cutting the lead in the process. Stanford ball now. Ball on the 46. Brown's going to drop back to pass, and he dumps it off to sub-halfback Champ Hampton, who runs away from the defense, and he picks up nice yardage. They set up another goal line appearance, and Brown's going to throw it short to Cisse for his second touchdown of the game. Stanford extends their lead back up to 14. Louisville ends up getting a field goal before Stanford taking over again. Backed up at the 20. Brown's going to fake the handoff. He rolls right and throws it downfield, and it's hauled in by Jordan Faison. Huge play to get downfield. That play sets up another goal line situation. Brown drops back to pass. Pocket holds, but decides to tuck it and run. He walks into the end zone for a Stanford touchdown, taking a 35-17 lead in the fourth. Last-ditch effort for Louisville. 4th and 12. Mason Williams loads up for a deep shot, but it's broken up by KT Sia. Ball falls incomplete, forcing the turnover on downs, and Stanford takes over. Empty formation at the 24. Brown's going to take the direct snap. He sees blocking downfield. He darts it to the outside and is tackled down just short of the goal line. Later, Chris Davidson's going to take the handoff. He powers through on the 1-yard line, and it's another Stanford touchdown. They leave no doubt going up 42-17 with 4 to play. Louisville does tack on a touchdown late, but Stanford walks out with a 42-24 victory on the road for another in-conference dub. Elijah Brown had a day with 308 yards passing on 86% completion and 4 total touchdowns to lead the team to victory. Game 2 sees the number 15 Cardinal head back to Cali, setting up a crucial top 25 matchup against the number 21st ranked Miami Hurricanes. Both teams only have one loss in conference and have an opportunity to not only win the conference, but also make a playoff appearance. Canes won last season matchup that was much competitive than I expected, but the turnovers end up being the deciding factor. Let's see if Stanford can fare better this go around. We start the action midway through the first. Cardinal up 3-0 when Brown's going to fake the handoff to Ford and throws a strike to Ismail Cisse downfield. Whoops, he jukes out a defender before being tackled down at the 31 for a nice gain. Later, facing 2nd and 3 from the 15. Brown's going to throw it short to Cisse, who's outruns a defender, stiff arms him, and he's going to score the Stanford touchdown. Cardinal take an early 10-point lead after the first 2 possessions in the quarter. Same score when they face a 4th and 2 on the Miami 40. Brown's going to drift back to pass, but ends up overthrowing Mbakwe, leading him too far. The ball falls incomplete and a turnover on downs. Miami takes over and quarterback Anthony Caladrea throws a quick screen to Josiah Trader. He gets great blocking up the middle, picks up 15 in the first down. Later, 1st and goal from the 7, they hand off to the 5th halfback Quincy Reeves. He darts to the outside and walks in the end zone for the Miami touchdown. They get on the board after the Stanford defense pitched a first quarter shutout. Stanford tacked on 3, making it 13-7 late in the second with a chance to put more on the board, but Brown's going to be back to pass and he overthrows Cisse up the seam, overthrowing the potential touchdown. The drive stalls out from there and the score remained the same going into the halftime break. Stanford's defense was holding their own against the Canes offense, limiting them to just 3.8 yards per play. However, Stanford offense has been much more efficient, but have yet to capitalize and put big points on the board. We'll see who will break through in the second half. We pick back up 6 minutes left in the third quarter with Stanford driving. Facing a 3rd and 8, Brown is back to pass. He drifts back and throws it outside, but it's undercut and intercepted. O.J. Federico turns it upfield, and he could go all the way. Touchdown Miami on the 70-yard pick six. Crucial underthrow there by Brown, and at a minimum a 10-point swing, giving the Canes the lead. Very next drive after the pick six, Stanford's going to drop back to pass. Brown's going to look toward the outside again, but he underthrows it and it's picked off for the second straight drive. This time it's linebacker Ruel Aguirre who takes it upfield and is tackled just outside the 20. Back-to-back underthrows by the quarterback Elijah Brown there, and Miami makes him pay. However, Stanford's defense was up to the task. Facing a 3rd and 5, they send the heat. They can't get the sack, but the throw falls helplessly to the ground. Miami tacks on 3 to extend their lead. Fourth quarter now, 6 minutes to play in a 1-point game. Ball in the 32, facing a 3rd and 3. Miami drops back to pass, but the quarterback is stripped and fumbles. Josiah Galvin scoops it up and scores. Touchdown Stanford. Their defense comes up big, not only stripping the quarterback away, but picking it up and running it back for the score, giving them the lead back. However, only up 5, they decide to go for 2. They empty the backfield and Brown's going to hit Mbakwe on a quick screen. He spins off one defender and gets tackled inside. 2-point conversion is good, and they extend their lead to 7. Miami now finds themselves down 7 with 4 to play. Handoff Jose Stock, who darts up the middle and sees green. He shrugs off a defender and eventually tackled down at the 27. Next play, Coliandra drops back to pass. He gets good pocket. He steps up and takes a deep shot before it's broken up, falling incomplete. 2 plays later, facing a 3rd and 8, Stanford sends the blitz. It's thrown downfield, but it's broken up, falling incomplete. One-on-one coverage in the slot, and what a play by Cam Richardson to recover and make the play, breaking it up. Miami's forced to settle for a field goal, and kicker Creed Rent doinks it off the goalpost, and it falls no good. Stanford with the ball with a chance to ice the game. Outside handoff, Chris Davis, he keeps it there, and he's able to pick up the 6 yards that's needed. Miami, with no timeouts left, cannot stop the clock, and Stanford holds on to knock off the Canes with a victory. Signature win late in the season as they improved to 9-1 on the year. Brown was named player of the game despite the 2 picks thrown, but he did just enough to lead the team to win. Great win going into the final 2 games on the road, setting up a chance to win the conference. If you guys liked today's episode, please hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next time.